Record high temperatures will be possible this weekend, and then on Monday, a weather alert day for the risk of severe thunderstorms. We'll go through the latest timing now on Future Track.
Spirit Aerosystems announces it's putting limits on overtime and hiring. Tonight, we hear from Spirit on why they made that decision.
I'm pretty proud that Bethany is not going to incorporate that.
Bethany College announcing it will not enforce the NAIA's new ban on transgender athletes in women's sports. What that decision could mean and how people are on campus there are reacting.
From KWCH, you're watching 12 News at 10.
Welcome into 12 News at 10. Storm Team 12 issuing a weather alert day on Monday for severe storms. Most of the state is under a level 2 threat right now for Monday.
Yeah, we need the rain. We don't need the severe weather, but we'll take the rain. First, so a hot and windy weekend ahead, and we could see some record-breaking heat for April. Let's check in tonight with meteorologist Peyton Sanders.
That's right. The big focus before we get to that storm system on Monday is going to be the hot weather, but all eyes will be on Monday's forecast for that storm system to move out into the plains. Could lead to a risk of some severe weather in Kansas. Still some timing issues that might occur, so exactly when the storms are going to develop, which places have the highest chance to see severe weather, still a little bit uncertain at this point, but as we head into this upcoming weekend, we should start to pin down those details as that storm system gets closer to the central plains. We'll keep you posted as we get new data in over the weekend. But again, before we get there, it's going to be warm. Temperatures back in the 80s this weekend. That's even warmer than what we had for today, and likely the warmest temperatures that we've had so far this year for both Saturday and Sunday. Daytime highs on Sunday in the upper 80s. Some places could touch 90 on Sunday, and that could lead to some record high temperatures in some locations for the second half of the weekend. So a warm day in store for tomorrow. It's already going to be mild to start the day, 58 degrees at 8 a.m. in Wichita. Some high-level clouds on the way. Daytime highs in Wichita tomorrow topping out in the mid-80s, about 10 degrees warmer than what we had out there for today. New data in today. We'll go through the complete hour-by-hour timing on Monday's storm threat and have the rest of your 10-day forecast coming up.
Thank you, Peyton. This month, the NAIA adopted a policy that would ban transgender athletes from competing in women's sports.
Now, Bethany College says it will not enforce the new policy. 12 News reporter Cale Chapman, who's on campus, has more about that college decision in a story new at 10.
Under new NAIA policy, all athletes can participate in men's sports, but only athletes whose biological sex is female that have not started hormone therapy can participate in women's sports. Student athletes that have started hormone therapy would still be able to participate in practices in any competition that is not a countable contest under NAIA guidelines. Under the new policy, student athletes would have to report their biological sex, something Bethany College in Lindsborg says it will not make their students do. In an email to students today, Bethany College says in part, the policy hinges on self-reporting by individual students and institutions. At Bethany, we will not be requiring our student athletes to prove their biological sex. Bethany adds that it believes the dignity and privacy of transgender athletes needs to be respected. Bethany student Oria O'Farrell says she agrees with the college's decision.
I really like the action that Bethany has taken, how they're not going to incorporate this policy that's being set out. I'm really big on inclusivity, so I am all for this.
O'Farrell says the school's approach protects students' ability to express themselves.
I think it's important that everyone expresses themselves and their identity. And being here at Bethany, they include everyone.
The policy begins on August 1st of this year. In Lindsborg, Cale Chapman, 12 News.
Today, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly shot down a number of bills, including a ban on gender-affirming care for minors and a bill that would have required medical care facilities and providers to report the reasons for each abortion performed to the Secretary of Health and Environment. Other vetoes included a bill that would have deregulated the hair removal technique known as sugaring, and a bill that would have prohibited cities and counties from regulating plastic used for merchandise, food, or drinks, among others.
People injured or killed on the job will see significant increases in workers' compensation benefits. A new bipartisan law signed this week by the governor is the first change to workers' comp law in Kansas since 2011. It follows an ongoing push by those who have had to deal with workers' comp, aiming to increase benefits received and also streamline the process. The new law also increases the amount a family receives if a worker dies to $500,000. That's set to take effect in July.
Spirit Aerosystems is limiting overtime and hiring due to declines in production. That's according to a Reuters report released today. 12 News reporter Dylan Domingue is here with a response tonight from Spirit. Dylan?
Well, Rachel, Reuters says in that report that production has fallen sharply in recent weeks over problems related to Boeing's 737 MAX jets. Now, Spirit Aerosystems makes about 70% of these 737 MAX. And in a statement this afternoon, Spirit says it's actively taking measures to drive stability, maintain flexibility, respond to a dynamic situation, and position our workforce for the future. This includes aligning production to support customers' rate profile, implementing training to enhance the skills of our teams in our facilities, and in the near term, limiting overtime as well as hiring for specific roles, including contractors. Now, Spirit has not announced any layoffs, but employees are expected to raise concerns about potential layoffs at an internal union meeting tomorrow. We'll update this story on air and online as we learn more. And this story also coming into our newsroom this afternoon, the National Institute for Aviation Research announcing some layoffs. Officials telling us the layoffs are for some of its staff at the NAIR Work building. 85 employees are impacted by this. NAIR did tell us it's due to delays in a program that's out of its control. NAIR says the reduction is a small percentage of its overall staff.
Dylan, thanks. Chiefs receiver Rashee Rice out on bond in connection with that multi-vehicle crash in Dallas. This after a warrant was issued for his arrest Wednesday in connection to the crash. This happened March 31st. Rice turned himself into police on Thursday. Brandon Zinner joins us from the newsroom with what we've learned today. Brandon?
Yeah, Mike, tonight we're learning that Rice topped out at a speed of 119 miles per hour just moments before that crash. That's according to the arrest warrant affidavit. Rice is facing 6 counts of collision involving bodily injury, 1 count for serious bodily injury, and 1 count of aggravated assault. Rice did turn himself into Dallas police last night, but is out on bond. Now, the voluntary off-season program for the Chiefs does ramp up on Monday when we expect to hear from head coach Andy Reid.
Thank you, Brandon. A shocking moment in Texas this morning. What we know tonight after a man slammed a stolen semi-truck into a building near Houston.
And the city of Newton finds itself in a pickle over an animal ordinance why the city had to evict goats hired by the city off of city property.
From KWCH, you are watching 12 News at 10. Online at kwch.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.